Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm just jumping on really quickly to share a project with you. This is a birthday card that I have made for my little niece. It's a printable, the Raccoon bit is a printable bit from Craft Your Print. I can't talk today. And it's all decoupaged up, so it's all made 3D. With popping up all the different layers. So it came with this printed background with the leaves and on the branch and the little raccoon and the bits for the raccoon to pop him up. I have then printed out a second background and cut out the leaves so that I could pop those up as well to give them a bit of dimension. And then along the bottom of the card I've obviously added in some flowers and some little toadstools and a little ladybird and all things like that. So it is an easel card. So if I show you the front first and bring it up closer so that you can see. So you can see down the bottom here I've just put in an array of different flowers that I've made and some little florally bits in the background there. So you've got some little stems with berries and what are they called? Flourishes, some little flourishes there in the background. And I found this tiny cute little ladybird, little wooden ladybird in my stash, so I've added that. And then the mushrooms, I have added a layer of glossy accents to those, just to make them stand out, make them look a little bit more vibrant. On the raccoon itself, I have actually flocked all the black bits. So if I can get it. Again, I'm filming at night, so it's not always the best quality on my camera, unfortunately. But I think you can just about see there that the black bits are sort of fairy looking on the panda, and I've done that using nail flocking. I just added a little bit of glue, let it go a little bit tacky, and then added some nail flocking over the top. And the raccoon was holding a little flower, but I also wanted it to hold the number 9 because that's how old she is. So I've added that in there as well. I've also put a dab of glossy accents on the eyes and the nose just to make them, again, look a bit more realistic and a bit glassy, like they would if he was a real raccoon. I've popped up this little banner here, and I have actually stamped and heat embossed the happy birthday. It was a plain banner. There were a few different options, but I don't think happy birthday was one of the options, actually, and that's obviously what I wanted. So I found a stamp in my stash that fitted, and then I've just stamped and heat embossed that on there. And then I've added these 2 flat back pearls at the top. I've backed it all on a layer of glittery red cardstock from Hobbycraft, and then I've put this white eyelash trim. I've sort of tucked that in all the way around the edge of the card. And like I say, this is an easel card. So if I flop the bottom bit out, you can see that it stands up like that. Just tilt it onto its side. So the foot of the front, if you like, just props up against this beaded trim down the bottom here. So if I just show you that. So obviously my niece is called Sophie. So I've popped her name along the bottom there. These are just using some chipboard type stickers that came from Home Bargains. Another little homemade flower with some flat backs in it. This lacy bit is actually from vellum. I punched it with a border punch from vellum, and I've added some flat backs across the middle of each sort of section of that punch. And then I've added this. This is a really nice trim. I get it from AliExpress. It's really cheap, but it's quite dimensional on the top, but it's flat on the back, so it glues really nicely to projects like this. So I tend to buy this one quite a lot. I've also put in some coordinating patterned paper just from a 12 by 12 paper pad that I've got from the range, and again I've done that on the back bit so that when it's stood like that, you get that lovely checked pattern in the background. And again, on the back of the card, I've used that checked paper, and then I've cut this out with a die from my stash and stamped happy birthday in red ink there in the middle. Now, the reason that I put this backing piece on here and on this side, even though you don't really see this side very much, is because to make a card this size, because it is 8 by 8, it's quite a big card, I have to join some card stock to make a long enough stretch, and I have got a video on my channel that shows how I put these big easel cards together, but to cover up that strip so that it looks all nice and sort of finished, I put the patterned papers on, and it also makes it nice and sturdy so that it'll stand up. There we go, so you can now see what the card looks like when it's stood up on the mantelpiece. So that's the card that I've made. I have made a sort of box envelope to go with it. So it's just got a little bit of dimension to the envelope so that it allows me to pop the card inside. I've used that using my envelope punch board and an app on my phone which helps me to get the measurements right for the piece of paper. So yeah, that's it. Just a very quick one, like I say, just to share this card before we write it up and send it off to the birthday girl. So thanks ever so much for watching. If you like the video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Also think about hitting that bell icon because it will alert you every time I upload a video. And there will be lots more crafty videos of lots of different natures to come. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.